What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Austin Davis, and in this video we have a special guest joining us. We have Sean Houchins with the socialmediapros.com, my new website provider. And if you guys want to get any more information on Sean, his links will be down in the description, including his link to book a call with him and his YouTube channel, where you can find all kinds of extra information as far as how to rank your website, how to run Google and Facebook ads. How's it going, Sean?
It is going well, Austin. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. So look, we're gonna get right into this video. We're gonna stop wasting any of you guys' time. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about why your website won't rank, a question that I get asked a lot on my channel. A lot of newbies getting business. They're trying to get their business fired up, trying to get ramping, trying to get going. And obviously one of the key things you gotta know is how to get your website up and running, how to get your Google ads, how to get your Google My Business all formidable and stuff. So let's get right into it. Why is it that your website will not rank on Google?
The biggest thing that we see, when a lot of people call us and we scan their websites, the number one ranking factor when it comes to whether Google will rank your website or specific pages on your website or not, it really comes down to, is the right content on those pages? And then second to that, does your domain have domain authority? So for those of you that don't know what a domain authority score is, basically every URL on the internet has a domain authority score of 0 to 100. So like 100 would be google.com or facebook.com. If you just bought a domain from GoDaddy, that domain authority score is probably 0. You can increase your domain authority score, and you do that by building backlinks and doing other off-page SEO things that can increase your domain authority score. But what we have found is that in most markets and for most clients that we work with, when we increase their domain authority score above their competitors, more often than not, every single keyword we want to rank them for, they inherently end up ranking for. And so honestly, in a lot of markets that aren't super competitive, like in Austin, in your market, for example, I think like the number 1 or number 2 competitors, they have a domain authority score of like 15 or 16 or somewhere in that ballpark. And we've got you at a 10 and up from a 7 or an 8. So, in a matter of 4 to 5 months or something like that, we should have pretty much any keyword ranking number 1 that we'd want to rank for. And then the other biggest thing as to why a lot of pressure washing websites just don't rank inherently is because there's a lot of on-page issues. So I wanted to share this with you really quickly, Austin. So basically, this is a scan of your website here, and it basically what this tool does that I'm using, it's called SEMRush. There's a free version of it. If you guys want to scan your own websites, you can go to semrush.com and create a free account. Scan your website and it'll tell you all of the things that are wrong with your website. You can go in and try to fix those things. But basically what this tool does is it tells us, any of the things that need resolved on the actual website, as far as, are the images too big? Is the load time too slow? Things of that nature. As you can see, we have your website at a 99%, which I've never seen a website get to 100%. So 99% is as good as we can kind of hope to get to. Now, in referencing of that domain authority score, I want to show you something else really quickly. So as you can see on my screen here, this is a scan of your domain here, and it shows your domain authority score. Now, it says low authority, but like I said, when it comes to pressure washing, it's very rare to see many pressure washing companies have an authority score that's much higher than a 8 or a 9 or a 10, unless you're in a competitive market. Like obviously in Austin, Texas, it's a little bit more competitive. If you're in Houston or Orlando, you're going to need to have a little bit more. But if you're not in a really big market, I've scanned people's websites all the time, and their competitors have a domain authority score of a 5 or a 6, and we know in 3 to 4 months, if we can bump that domain authority score up, every keyword under the sun we want to rank for, we can. But yeah, those are some of the big things that really kind of go into why a website will rank organically on Google or not. The other thing that is really important to know when we're talking about ranking a website is we have to differentiate between the Google Business Profile map pack and the actual search engine results. So when you make a Google search, there's 3 places your website can appear. You can appear in the Google ads at the very top. You can appear in the map pack or the Google Business Profile section, or you can show up in the search engine results. Most SEO companies, when we talk about SEO, we're not talking about the map pack itself, because what positively impacts the map pack is going to come down to, it's going to come down to distance and the amount of reviews that you have. So when we talk about SEO, we're not talking about raising the ranks in the map pack. We're specifically talking about the search engine results. And that's a really important distinction, because I have this conversation quite frequently and I always have to explain that to people. So I really wanted to point that out.
My problem with the previous company I had, great company. Obviously, a lot of you guys that are watching my channel know I've spoken highly about this company, but the shortfalls with the company I had prior was organic search listings, not the map pack. I had issues with. I could not rank in the organic search, and then my website conversions. So no one wanted to get on my website. No one wanted to send in a lead. And then obviously with my organic search listings, that was nowhere to be found. And so that kind of leads us into this next point I want to bring up, which is the problem with cheaper website providers. What I always tell people is, if you're going to pay $150, $250, $300 a month for a service, that's the exact service you're going to get. You're going to get a $150, $250, $300 a month service. You can't expect a company that's doing over $100,000, to pay $200 for a website and think it's going to take them, to the next level and stuff. So let's get into, the problem with these cheaper website providers.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, it's important to talk about them. Obviously, when you're a brand new pressure washing company, like, working with a bigger marketing agency, spending, anywhere from $800 to $1,500 to $2,000 a month just really isn't feasible, right? And there are a lot of providers out there that will build you a website and quote unquote do SEO for a couple $100 a month. Obviously, just like, somebody that does roof washing, right? Somebody's gonna give out a quote for $100 and somebody may give a quote out for $600. They're both doing roof washing. It's just the caliber at which they're doing roof washing, right? And I like to make the same comparison. Really, where we kind of separate ourselves and some of the other agencies in this space that kind of operate at a higher level, really what we're doing different is we really are focusing on that domain authority score. And with that comes a lot of labor because we have to go out and acquire these links, right? We have to do a lot of these things that are going to increase that domain authority score. And, when you're paying a company a couple $100 a month, they just don't have it in the budget to do those things, right? Which is totally understandable. Now, obviously with you kind of getting to the point in your business where, you would kind of outgrown that, like, and you have the budget for these things now, now we're able to invest a lot of money into SEO and link building and really focus on increasing that domain authority score so that, we can get you ranking number one. But second to that, like you kind of spoke about, and I have your website pulled up here, one of the things that we really spoke about was your kind of conversions, right? Because, you can rank really high on Google, you can run Google ads and spend a ton of money, but if your website can't convert that traffic, it's really all for nothing, right? Your website kind of has to do the job of like closing, the lead for you because you can't if they're going to your website.
Right.
So, so I have your website up in front of me here, and the three things that were really important to me when we were going through the building process of your website was, one, making sure that we had call to action buttons in the header, which we do. We have your phone number and we have a book and estimate. We make it very clear, very simple, very easy to do so. And then right there on the homepage and every other service page, we have a very small get a quick quote. And anywhere on your website, as you scroll through the pages of your website, we put that throughout your website, because at any point, if a homeowner decides I want to hire this company, we want something on screen that they can click on that will allow for them to kind of get an estimate, right?
Yeah, so this is kind of what I'm thinking with these other smaller companies is, when you're brand new, and just to kind of piggyback off your point, it's not feasible someone just getting into the business to spend $800, $1,500 a month on an actual company that can go out there and do right by your website and your presence. So I think it's completely okay for you to go over there and spend the money just to get a website up and running, because at the end of the day, it's going to take you, even if you did sign for a $1,000, $1,500 a month guide, correctly to your website, it's still going to take you that organic time, you going out there and growing your business, getting those reviews for even Google to pick up and notice you, because, correct me if I'm wrong, domain age and all that good stuff and reviews are a big part of it as well. So it's completely fine if you're brand new, you can go out there and just pay someone just to get a website up. But the problem with these small providers is they're really not doing anything for you. I bet you it costs them a couple $1,000s on their end to create the website, but they hit you with $175 a month, $200 a month, and they're just hosting your website for you. It's going to take them a year or two for them to get that money back, to pay themselves back or pay their web creators back, just to get that money back for them to make sense of this whole deal. And then they say after a year or year and a half, then that's when you should start ranking. I mean, a lot of these companies say, hey, we'll build your website, but expect results in 8 to 12 months. My guess is because they're going to need that money back in their account for them to even start focusing on you. They kind of use the time as the exchange there for them to justify why their website isn't ranking.
Yeah. Well, and so like the key thing here is too, with a lot of these companies that, where you're paying a couple $100s a month, and they say, SEO is going to take some time. SEO does take time, right? Even for your campaign, if you said, Sean, I want to spend $10,000 a month on my SEO campaign, it's still going to take a few months, right? Because it takes time for Google to index that work. But more often than not, when companies call me and they say, hey, I'm with this smaller company, and I scan their website, they say, I've been with them for a year or 2 years, and I look at their domain authority, and it's still a 0 or a 1 or a 2. What that tells me is that the company they're with is not focusing on their domain authority. And that is one of the most, if not, it actually is the most important thing that dictates those ranks in the search engine results. So yeah, it really is, it's good for what it is, right? A couple $100 a month, but like you said, that is exactly what it is. You're paying them to have have a relatively nice generic looking website and you're basically paying them for hosting, as far as I understand it. And I've scanned a lot of these websites, and maybe there's something else being done that I'm not aware of, but they're not focusing on the more important things, but really kind of comes down to cost, right? You know, if you're only spending a couple $100s a month, of course they're not going to be doing any kind of domain authority building.
Of course.
Just because it's not really in the budget, you know?
Yeah, and so on my email here, I wanted to count the amount of leads that I've gotten. We started on March 10th. It's been about 3 weeks now. And again, like I said, the problem with my other website, my other website provider, website wasn't the prettiest. However, they did get me on the Google Map Pack, which basically built my business. But I started to notice, I was like, man, there's 200 people clicking on my website, 150, 200, you know, it depends on the seasons. Obviously in the springtime, we have more clickers or more people on the website. In the wintertime, it's less, you know, 70, 80 people. But I would get like 3 to 5 calls out of 200. That's like 1% of people that get on my website are calling me. In the last 3 weeks, I just counted, we've had 15 website leads. Now, obviously I get a lot of calls off, you know, Google My Business. You know, that's where a lot of my traffic comes, you know, outside of referrals and whatnot. But, you know, the website leads was just something I've been looking to conquer. And we've already gotten 15 in the last 3 weeks, and where it's taken me maybe 6 months or 4 to 5, 6 months to get 15 leads for my website. So obviously the new website has been a total badass change.
Yeah, so and honestly, like, and the reason for, so I want to pull up your actual rankings here. So I've got your keyword rankings in front of me, and on the right hand side of the screen, so this is, let me shorten this, let me see what this looks like. So over the past 30 days, out of all the keywords we're tracking, 50 of the keywords have improved and only 5 have declined, which is phenomenal. And so, you know, let me actually pull up what keywords you're ranking number 1 for. Like we secured so many, and you can even see this curve here. You can almost see right where we started. You know, your visibility was a 7.3%, and it has just went straight, I don't want to say straight up, but it's now at a 13%. We've almost doubled your keyword visibility in less than a month. And we have tons of number 1 keyword ranks. But anyways, you know, really what we attribute that to, at least this part of it, is you already had the domain authority. Your domain authority hasn't really increased that much since we started doing work. Obviously, it's what we're working on, but we put the right text on the website so that when Google now indexes all of your pages, you know, like when I flip back over to your website, this is really important. So like if I go to, let's say, your roof cleaning page, the number 1, the very first thing Google sees when we come to this page is it says roof cleaning company in Austin, Texas. So when they index this website, that's what they're going to see very first, right? So, you know, it's small, really small nuances like this that really help and attribute to that ranking. So if you're in a position where, you know, maybe you do already have a super high domain authority score, and maybe just your on-site, like the website copy, just isn't there, you know, that's definitely something to look at, because that's basically what we have in this case. Is we just changed a bunch of call to actions and rewrote all of the copy on the website. Now we're ranking number 1 for a lot of stuff, and honestly, probably in a couple of months, we're gonna really secure a lot of number 1 rankings. So like as of right now, we've got 4, and we probably have, I don't even know, we probably have over 100 in the top 10 position. So yeah, that's crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah, so this is kind of why I switched. A lot of people have been asking me ever since we posted our last video together, like, Austin, what's going on? You know, what's going on with Thrive? Was there a falling out? You know, are they still a good provider? This floodgate of messages coming in to me about my old website provider. And what I'm trying to tell people is like, hey, look, calm down, okay? There's nothing wrong with the Thrive team. As we just said earlier, having a good website provider that can just get you a website and help you with these little ticky-tack things when you're growing your business is a good thing, right? It's not feasible to spend $800,000, $1,500 a month on a good website provider, okay? And with that being said, there's seasons in your business. You know, Walmart, let's say, is not spending $100 on their website each month. They are probably spending tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars on their websites each month, right? When I first got started my business, because I was a lower level trying to, you know, get my foundation right, I went with someone that I could afford, that provided just enough value that it justified the cost of it. And now I'm at a point right now where I had just acquired this other business. I'm looking at opening up another location. We have a lot of revenue coming in. And so now I'm looking at ways to take my business to the next level. And I found going with Sean, you know, here's a guy that gives you his 100% undivided attention, you know, versus these other huge marketing companies that have hundreds of employees, you know, they manage thousands of websites. How could they possibly give you that one-on-one attention, right? You know, they don't mind working with one of your competitors, right? Here's the deal with Sean. I know he's not going to go work with someone else in Austin, because when he works with someone, he's doing it to make me number one. There would be a conflict of interest there, right? Whereas the other marketing companies, they don't care. They're just trying to sign you up, host your website, and hope that you don't leave within 6 to 12 months, because they got to get their money back, right? Just the complete website transformation, the amount of leads that's been coming in, the website just looks 10 times better. We're really working on getting that organic listings up, so we're trying to be number one, baby. So like I said, guys, I wanted to make this video because we do get a lot of messages into my comment section, and people, still call and text me, asking me about how can they take their business to the next level, asking about websites and whatnot. So I wanted to bring Sean in. We'll continue to give you guys as much advice as possible. We're going to try and do 2 or 3 videos a month on how you can increase your presence, things to work on your website, things to watch out for, and things to look for when you're selecting a new website company. So I want to thank Sean for hopping on this video again with me. Like I said in the beginning, all of his information and all of his numbers and links will be down in the description, including his Calendly link. You can schedule a coaching call with him, and as well as his YouTube channel. Okay, Sean Houchins is his YouTube channel. There's all kind of really good nuggets on there, including Facebook ads, Google ads, some of the same topics we're going to talk about on my channel. So if you want to go check him out, go check him out. And like I said, guys, thanks for tuning back into the channel. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks, Sean, for dropping in.
Absolutely.